Welcome to the Genius Talk podcast. I'm host Atul Raj from the bestemailmarketer.com. And today we have Naresh, brother. Second name, please.
Vissa.
Naresh Vissa with us.
Thanks a lot, Atul. It's a pleasure to be on the show. Thanks for reaching out.
Yeah, awesome, brother. So, for our listeners who don't know you, can you tell them who you are and what do you do?
I'm the founder and CEO of Krish Media and Marketing. It's an online and digital media and marketing agency. Also the and see founder and co-founder and partner of Krish Capital, which is a real estate investment firm. Well, it does a lot of different real estate services, mostly real estate investing, but it also does real estate sales, marketing, etc. So in the case of Krish Media and Marketing, that's how I got started in the entrepreneurship space and the online and digital world. 2013 is when I incorporated that business. So I've been around for almost 13 years. I'm pretty proud of that. It's pretty crazy that I've made a very good living completely working from home, or I should say initially about 90% working from home, today about 99% working from home. So I've made a very good living, been able to start Krish Capital because of the success of Krish Media and Marketing. Krish Media and Marketing is full service, like I said, online and digital agency. So we do anything and everything online and digital, pretty much everything with the exception of mobile app development. We do not do that, but we do design, development, SEO, reputation management, web stuff, social media, a ton of design, a lot of digital media in the sense of podcast production, online public relations, you name it. That's what Krish Media and Marketing does.
So, like, who are your ideal clients? Who do you help?
It's a B2B business, so we help mostly businesses. 9 out of 10 clients are other businesses, mostly within the real estate space because I came from the financial industry. So my first clients were financial companies like financial firms, brokers, wholesalers, real estate companies, brokerages, real estate builders, banks, hedge funds, private equity companies. So those became my first clients when I got started, and then as I matured and became more known in the space, then I niched into the real estate space because I became a real estate investor myself and started networking and meeting people within the real estate industry. So I would say that's our number one industry, but we take on anybody. We have doctors, lawyers, accountants, even temples, religious organizations, you name it. We can handle really any type of client.
Okay, so, which campaign or project are you most proud of?
In my 13-year career, or just in
Yes.
general, what is our
13-year career.
Okay, well, I'll say two things. Number one is that I'm most proud, or the service that is probably that's been around the longest. When I started this business, one of my one of my main offerings, I see right here, it says bestemailmarketer.com. Email marketing was one of our best services that we offered way back in 2013. So that included the copywriting and email design and email setup. I will also say that our most profitable our most profitable service has been search engine optimization and actually reputation management. So that's where somebody has a business or somebody has something written about them online. It could be a bad review, it could be a bad article, and we either bury the listing or we get it removed altogether. Those are the two, that's the most profitable. Our first service, like I said, was the email marketing, but our longest lasting service has been podcast production. So I've been producing podcasts since 2008, before people even knew what a podcast was. So almost 20 years. And I helped create the first online podcasting network, or online radio network. It was a first seven-figure online podcasting network way back in 2011 is when I started it, and then it reached seven figures in 2012, and then consistently started doing it in 2013. So this is when I was working at a company. So I'm very proud of that project, but I'm also very proud, I think, of of implementing webinars. So online special events, online live events, implementing webinars into the digital media strategy. So I started doing that around 2013, where I said, hey, we need to have these online live events, get people to come on, watch the webinar, and sell a product. And I'm most proud of these because I found that the return on investment, the sales generation overnight is far greater when you're able to build up a hot list, get people to show up live, and then sell them on a product. The conversion is very quick and it can become
Mhm.
quite copious. In fact, we worked with a partner where I put on a webinar for them, Mhm. and they got so much business overnight that they weren't able to handle the business, and they actually had to end up about 2 years later end up shutting down because they got so much business that they could not handle it. And usually that's a good
Mhm.
thing. They didn't know
Yeah.
how to handle it, they didn't know how to prepare for it, and the customer service ended up being really, really bad. So
Mhm.
they actually ended up losing business and shutting down. So that's what I mean by these online webinars. They To answer your question, I said a lot of different things because there isn't any one thing, but I've shared my biggest successes, what's
Mhm.
most profitable, what's been the most long lasting.
Okay, you have lots of books. Okay, so among all of those books, which one is your favorite?
Well, it's definitely 50 Shades of Marketing. So, like you said, I have 5 books out. They're all available on Amazon. You can type in my name, Naresh Vissa, go on Amazon. 50 Shades of Marketing came out 10 years ago. I can't believe it. It's been 10 years since it came out. It was October 2015. Today we're just past, just beyond October 2025. 50 Shades of Marketing is a primer on online and digital media and marketing. At least it was a primer when it came out in 2015. It did very well when it came out. Uh, it I don't want to say it shook up the industry, but it definitely sold a lot of copies and people paid a lot of attention to it because the book goes through, it's a soup to nuts, everything you need to know about online and digital. Like I said, it came out 10 years ago. While many of the tools and resources have changed, the principles are timeless. So it's still very relevant and applicable today. I highly recommend people get a copy, and I'd love to give away a free copy of the book. If you visit my website, nareshvissa.com, contact me through the website and just say that you want your free copy of 50 Shades of Marketing, and I'd be glad to send you a free copy, a special link so you can get a free copy.
That's great. You're so generous.
I guess I'm generous, or it could be just a lead generation tool. You never know. I'm a marketer at the end of the day. So maybe I'm generous, maybe I'm a lead generator. I have no idea.
You're both.
Remember, if a product is free, you are you are the product.
Okay, brother.
Okay, brother.
According to you, what is the best list building method you have discovered?
I think still the best. So again,
Podcast.
when I got no, so when I got started in the online and digital world about 15 years ago, um, the best lead generating tool. Things have changed since then, but the best lead generating tool back then was free report. You know, a special report, a free report. You see
Mhm.
some advertisement on Google. That was what was popular back then. You see an advertisement on Google AdWords on Google that says the 5 secrets to becoming a millionaire. Grab your free report right now, and that still works. But the channels have changed because now you can advertise on Facebook, which is even more granular, but you can run the same campaign on Facebook and what's back then Instagram wasn't even around. People were not they didn't know what Instagram was. It was a tiny little startup. But with Instagram marketing, with Facebook marketing, now with X marketing, with TikTok marketing, with Amazon marketing, there are so many channels. where you can run, let's just say, this free report. And that free report has also changed because 15 years ago, podcasting was not a thing. No one had heard what a podcast was 15 years ago, except for me.
Mhm.
And I bring this up because now you have, a free course, a free audio course, a free video course, a special podcast episode. These are all what are called lead magnets that are being used to generate leads. So I still think this is the best way to build a list. You brought up podcasting. Look, podcasting is great. You're going to get much higher quality leads through a podcast. There's no denying that. You're going to get extremely high quality leads through the podcast. However, podcasting is hard. It's a lot harder than putting together a free report. And now with AI, it's easier than ever to create a free report. And with AI telling you how to market it, it's easier than ever to market it. But a podcast is still, AI can't do your podcast. AI cannot replace you and your voice and the production quality and production value and the market, the post market. AI cannot do that with a podcast. So that's why I say the free lead magnet is the best lead generator. So it could be a free report, it could be free audio, free video, it could be an ebook. In my case, like what I just brought up to you, it could be a free book. So these are all good lead generators.
Okay, so here's what I was doing, but I don't have much data on this. We have a product and it sells for $197, but we are giving them to people. If they join our email list, they'll get that for free.
That's a great way to generate leads. In fact, that's a copy trick. It's a copywriting trick where you can say free report. That's kind of enticing. Oh, free. What you could do is just add hey, this is $197 value. You can see this on our site. We sell this for $197, but we'll give it to you for free.
If you join our list.
I wouldn't even say if you join our list. I would just
Yeah.
say we'll give this to you
Oh,
for free.
yes.
Yep.
Okay, so couple of days ago, I got emails from my email list. I mean, from a subscriber. He said, I don't have budget to run ads. How can I get traffic to build my email list? So what would you say?
Content marketing. So content marketing is the use of content to market a business or a product. And now, back then, 15 years ago, the content marketing was all about blogging. People were blogging and writing things on the internet. Now with content marketing, you can become an Instagram influencer, a TikTok influencer, Facebook influencer, an X influencer. You can start a podcast. You can start a YouTube channel. There are all sorts of ways you can create content, and that's how you build and generate your list. That's the best. That's the freest. You said this person doesn't have any money. That's the freest way to develop that.
By the way, while scaling your agency, how are you keeping up with lots of clients and without decreasing the quality of services?
That's a management question. I think it's more management and it has to do with delegating appropriately. So my business isn't just me. I've hired subcontractors. I've hired part-time folks. At one point during my peak, about 6 years ago, I had somewhere between 13 to 18 part-time employees. Today, I still have 3 to 4. And that's how I'm able to now my job really is I'm client facing. So I handle the sales, the management, and the project management. That's what I handle. I used to do everything myself 10 years ago, 11 years ago. I used to do everything myself. But now I have a team of people who help me out. And because I have a team, I'm able to delegate and to take on more business without missing a beat.
Mhm. By the way, you have a book about how to become a uh, bestseller.
That book is
Like,
called From Nobody to Best Selling Author because I was I was a nobody and I became a best-selling author. My first book actually was Podcastonomics. It was not 50 Shades of Marketing. My first book was Podcastonomics, the book of podcasting to make you millions. The reason why it's titled that way is because, like I told you, I figured out a way to start up an online radio network before podcasting was even a common term.
Mm-hmm.
And we generated more than $1 million. And then I started working with companies to help them generate revenue in excess of $1 million. Some have made over $10 million podcasting over their careers or their life cycles. So, uh, from nobody to best-selling author is a book that helps anybody write a book. It's a primer. I keep using this word primer. It's a soup to nuts educational instructional guide on how you can go about writing a book and publishing it, self-publishing it, getting it up on Amazon, Barnes and Noble, iTunes, Audible, various other places for a very low cost. And when I wrote that book is now 7 years old. When I wrote that book, there was no AI. So you had to write everything yourself. And I still do recommend that you write yourself and you use AI to edit. But I had to get my own editor and pay them thousands of dollars to edit my book. If I didn't want to pay that money, then I would have to edit the book myself, read it backwards, and do all sorts of things to edit it, to proofread it, proofread it. So that book is like I said, a soup to nuts primer on how to go about writing a book and getting it published and marketed. It's everything you need to know about the book publishing process.
Have you ever thought about like creating your own product,
What do you mean?
like having your own product line?
I have not. I have not thought about that simply because I'm so busy running the day to day of my regular businesses. And also my books, they've done well, but they haven't done really, really well. Podcastnomics is my most successful book. I've sold more than 10,000 copies of that. But the fact of the matter is that books, you're not going to get wealthy off books.
Yeah, of course.
And even if you have them up everywhere on Barnes and Noble, Amazon, iTunes, Audible, all these well-known places, that doesn't mean that they're going to sell copies. So there was a point where I thought, okay, maybe I should productize uh, my podcasting stuff because Podcastomics did so well when it came out. It was really a game changer within the podcasting space.
Mhm,
So I thought about coming out with some type of product for podcasting, but I already had that, which was my services. And then I also had my own podcast called The Work From Home
mhm.
Show. It's been discontinued, but I ran it for 5 years. And my partner and we were basically podcast consultants where we go in and either help existing podcasts or help new podcasts launch. So we already had a product per se. We already had a product or a service that we were offering. I already had a product and multiple services that I was offering through Krish Media Marketing.
Okay, so if you could restart again, what is one thing that you will do different?
When you say one thing I do different, can you be a little more specific? Are you talking about one thing I do different in business? One thing I do
Yeah,
different?
yeah, in business.
Okay, so that's somewhat of a loaded question because I'm going to answer it in multiple different ways. One
Okay.
thing that I would have done different in my life, and look, I don't. This is more of like a personal self development, self improvement topic, but I don't come from a family of business owners. I come from a family of, if you want to call it, employees doing things a traditional way. So when it comes to business, I was pretty much on my own. I had to start from scratch on my own with my own network, my own contacts. I went into a field that my family is just doctors and engineers. So employed doctors and engineers. So they don't know much. So what I would have done differently personally, again, I didn't have that guidance. I didn't have that business or management or marketing guidance. What I would have done differently is I would have dabbled in entrepreneurship at an earlier age. And I was pretty young when I started dabbling in it. I was 23 years old, 23 or 24 when I was 24 when I went all in on entrepreneurship. And instead what I would have done is gone all in at the age of 16 or 17. Um, that's not to say that the door is still open for the corporate world and being an employee, but I would have gotten my feet wet in the experience. Had I gotten that 8 year, 7 year head start, I would have saved 7 or 8 years in my 20s and in my 30s. That's the first thing. The second thing is I would have tried to make more of an attempt to understand real estate and real estate investing or just investing in general. It wasn't until my early 20s that I started learning about like stock investing, for example, but it wasn't until my late 20s that I felt like I mastered it and understood, hey, I'm comfortable investing in certain stocks. When it comes to real estate is timeless and everybody is going to need a place to live. And that's the basis of that asset class. And what I would have done differently is I feel like everybody, because everybody at some point in their life, no matter what you become, you can become an artist. No matter what you become, your goal is going to be at some point in life to buy your own place, to buy your own house. In the US, it's to buy your own house, to buy your own condo, to buy your own apartment, to buy your own whatever it might be. And that's why everybody I feel should know. And of course, less than 90% or yeah, less than 90% even know much about real estate investing. That's something that I wish I took more seriously because I didn't get into it until I was 28 years old. Now, if I got into it when I was 18 years old, then that would have, probably made things a little bit more fruitful. When it comes to my actual business, Christian media and marketing, the online and digital world, if there are some takeaways on what I would have done differently, number one, number one is when you're good at something, you focus on that even more. And the problem that I had with my entrepreneurship with Christian media marketing is I started doing things that I wasn't good at. And when you do things that you're not necessarily good at or that you're not on board with, then
Okay.
it's not going to work out. That the chances of it working out are extremely slim. So I say I had plenty of things that I was good at, and I should have only focused on those. So today I'm in my mid 30s, and I know, hey, these are the handful of areas that I'm good at and that where I've established myself. So that's what I focus on. I don't focus on all this other nonsense, and it's easy to get carried away by the Joneses or by a business partner. Like I had an angel investor, I had a business partner who would tell me, hey, we need to do this because this is where people are paying a lot of money and we can make a lot of money, or we need to do that because that's the next hot thing. And I went along with it and I ended up just wasting time. But hey, you know what? I wouldn't call it wasting time because you go through that experience, you fail, or it doesn't work out, and it ends up being a good experience. So I would tell people, hey, if you want to save yourself a few years, focus on what gets you excited, what you're actually good at.
Okay, so for our listeners who want to connect with you, where can they go?
NareshVissa.com, like I brought up earlier, I'm glad to give away any of the books that I mentioned on here. I brought up Podcastnomics, 50 Shades of Marketing, From Nobody the Best-Selling Author, those 3 books. If you want a free copy of any of those 3 books, go to nareshvissa.com, visit that website, contact me through the page, and I would love to give you a free copy of any book of your choosing.
Awesome, Naresh. Thank you so much for spending some time with us. It was really fun chatting with you.
Thank you. Really appreciate it.